I think we're speaking about the greatest player of our time. It's clear to everyone that this team in 2016 was built to win the Champions League.
How many German players are saying actually no to the national team?
Ball across the Dylan Nahi, double in flight. Oh, what a start!
Into the net.
She does it again.
Yes, and Magdeburg are the champions of Europe. To come up with something here. She has a game. The keeper. What a comeback!
It's beginning to look a lot like Christmas, everybody. That's why I set myself a fire up, just put on my ugly Christmas sweater, and am joined once again by my podcast family. And on one hand side, we would be talking about the greatest Dane to have ever lived if it wasn't for Christian Eriksen and Mikkel Hansen, ladies and gentlemen, Martin Vilstrup. And on the other side, we would be talking about the greatest sportsman that Barca has ever seen, if it wasn't for Lionel Messi and Nikola Karabatic. Victor Tomàs, nice to see you, boys.
Best introduction so far. Best introduction, Bengt. I have to give you that one. I like you putting me up on a podium that I cannot. That I don't fit into.
I agree. You just did the best introduction so far. I loved it.
Yeah, I needed to come up with something since last week you told me that I was running out of ideas, and I am not letting that sit on me.
Okay. You did a great job.
Cheers. Still waiting for someone of you to introduce me properly, but I don't want to ask for it, so it's all right. How are you, boys? How's the Christmas mood?
I'm good, actually. But as I said in some of the previous episodes, I'm probably not as big as a Christmas person as you, Bengt, and maybe it's also a little bit of a surprise to you. We're not that many on Christmas evening in my family, so Christmas is just the cozy times for me, but the mood is good. I'm excited by today's guest. I really am, and to me, he's one of the best left wings that ever been. And so, yeah, I'm actually super excited, and it's really, really nice to have him as a guest.
And I suppose that in Germany and Denmark, it's beginning to look a lot like Christmas, but here it's beginning to look a lot like summer. You know, you can see my color. You know, I've been running this morning outside, and
such a show off.
The sun just coming into my skin. But yeah, beside of that, everything is good. Everything is good, and yeah, I'm super excited as well with the guest that we have today. He is not playing Champions League this season, but he has been there for many seasons, and I have to say, it's one of the guys that I hated the most when I played against him.
Yeah, he was fairly good whenever he touched the ball, and I am still in shock whenever I see that wrist, because that dude, for me, he invented the wrist. Before him, people didn't have one.
It's important to say that for me, the wrist, it's amazing, but I think that his shoulder and elbow elasticity and capacity, it's beyond, because the wrist, it's a lot of players who can, you know, do a lot of spin shots and everything, but what he does is a shoulder thing, and for me that's crazy.
Yeah, that's fair.
In some way, he kind of invented a couple of shots, and it's going to be interesting to hear him. I actually mentioned it when you said it, Victor, with Stefan Löfgren, that whenever we have something called in after Löfgren, also whenever you do a shot from the arm up there, you have a tendency to call it a Gensheimer, because it's kind of, I've never seen it before he did it. And if I remember correctly, it was also, again, he did one against Barcelona, and it's like unbelievable goal.
I don't know which season was that, but it was in Final Four. We played semi-final against them, and it was in the second half. He did like this to Daniel Saric in the goal. Daniel Saric, it was first time ever that he received that goal, and he was like, like scared to don't get shot in the face. But it was amazing goal, and then he did it again in these quarterfinals. That it was very, very tight between his team and Barcelona.
Yeah, you guys dropped the name already. It's Uwe Gensheimer, and I am finally happy to announce another German, because after last week, after I've been outnumbered by both of you, now we can outnumber you, and I'm super looking forward to that. But yeah, Uwe Gensheimer, just many, many memories with that man, because whenever you do get in touch with German handball throughout the last 10 years, you just can't get past the name Uwe Gensheimer, and I am very interested in what he has to say about his career, about his move to PSG, and we are going to talk about that coming back. And it is the perfect timing to call him into the show, because he will be retiring after that season, and I'm a little bit sad about that, to be honest.
Yes, I think it's a very personal decision. I think that in the last seasons, probably injuries hasn't been treating him very well.
Right now.
Yeah, right now.
Yeah.
And I think that if he would have been healthy physically, he could keep going for a long time. But I think that his body is asking him for a break.
Yeah, I was just about to say that I agree with Victor, because there are probably a lot of people out there thinking that he could continue playing on top level. But as Victor said, it's a personal reason. It's also family time, injuries, and yeah, there can be many reasons, and it's going to be interesting to hear him what he will say about it. But for sure, he's been an unbelievable player, and also sometimes it's also a little bit of a pride, I think, for some of the players, that they want to end their careers also on top. They don't want to end it by going down, and still, want to be remembered as one of the greatest and on their positions. And I think it's also a fairly decision for Uwe, and yeah, he's the only one to give the right answer, so it's a question that we can ask him whenever he joins.
Victor, is the question why many Germans are not playing for the national team burning on your tongue already? We're not going there again. We're not going there once again.
Actually, I have to be honest, I haven't think about it, that question. But now that you mention it, maybe it's a good time that you can ask him.
Well, we will see, and I am actually very happy that we are having a guest like him, that we're not just having a guest like him, that we're having him as a guest, because he is one of Germany's greatest. He is one of the best left wings of all time. He is Uwe Gensheimer. Welcome.
What's up, everybody?
Nice to see you. How's it going?
How are you doing, guys? I just had a press conference here in the SAP Arena in Mannheim about the European Championship preliminary round here in Mannheim, with the mayor of Mannheim, with some people from the city marketing, with Daniel Hopp, the CEO of the arena, and we were about to promote it. Some of the rest tickets, which are left for the games in Mannheim, there are not so many left, and we are happy with the purchase right now. We are expecting 9,000 to 12,000 spectators here in Mannheim, so it will be great games.
That's quite some numbers. I gotta start off the interview though, because actually it was a funny story. I need to tell you guys about it. We were discussing about who to call onto the show, and it was Monday or Tuesday where we texted in our WhatsApp group. I was in the office, and then I was just willing to go to the bathroom. I'm walking through the hallway, and then, hey, Uwe, you are just about to get an invitation from us. That was quite random. But
I think the invitation came out 2 hours earlier, right?
Yeah, somewhere around there. And it was super random that I ran into you that day. But anyways, you were telling me that, I need to figure out which training shall I attend on Thursday. What's the story behind that?
I'm switching team practices and my rehab practice, which is in another place, at the rehab center from Hoffenheim, from the football club. And we had a game yesterday in Essen, a cup game. And so yesterday evening, the coach got rid of the choice because he got practice free today, so it was clear for me to be in Hoffenheim.
Yeah, that's fair. But actually, when you're talking about your rehab training, how's it looking there? Maybe you can give us a little health status of you.
I'm on a good way. I'm on a good way right now. After the operation in June, the doctor said to me that I'm going to be out 8 to 9 months. So we are 6 months after the operation right now, and the knee's looking good. The difference between the muscles on my right and my left leg, I got rid of that, so I can start with some movements, hand movements, some quick movements, some longer running sessions, and I never thought that I'd be happy to do that, but I am right now to go on longer runs, and it feels good. My knee feels good, and of course I hope to get back on the pitch before I will stop playing handball in summer.
Hello, Uwe. Very
Hello.
nice to meet you outside of the playing court, because you were a pain in the ass, actually. Wait until you are
Vice versa.
Wait until you are officially retired, because then you will enjoy even more the long runs. I'm telling you by experience. I also wanted to ask, how are you feeling? How has been this period for you? Because in your whole career, you have been a player that, you have had your injuries, but not a long-term injury like this one. And for you, how is it to be outside? Because for me, I never had a long-term injury like yours now. And for you to not be able to be in the playing court with your teams, how are you trying to get your help to the team from the outside?
Of course, I had in 2012. I had I ruptured my Achilles tendon. I was out for 6 months at that time as well.
That was in France, right? Yeah.
And then I also had a long period where I couldn't be on the field. At that time, I tried to put more focus on my studies, on my university duties, and I kind of get a bit of another sense in my head of other things. I had to about other stuff as well. Right now, in this period, I was thinking a lot about the transition, about what I will do afterwards, and about the step, which is a big step, as you know, to stop playing. And it's a part of of my lifetime, which will end right now. Something you are looking forward since you're a little boy, to be one day a professional player, and then you achieve that goal. Then you have your goals in your career. You always want to get better. You want to win titles. You train for something else. Then when you're a professional. And we already know as professional athletes that sometimes this point is going to come, that you're going to stop your career. But it really was a process throughout the last two or 3 years. When I had a little injury before the Olympics 2021, then another injury last season, and then this big injury now, which were big hints for me that my body gave me that at that point it's time to stop the professional career and to think about the next 30 to 40 years, to think about how you're going to live your life afterwards, that you don't want to end up that you can't play with your kids anymore, and that you have too many problems with your body afterwards. And this, I think, then at that point there was also the situation at the club at Rhein-Neckar Löwen, that they were searching for executive in the sports area, and this I'm looking forward to what's coming afterwards. So I'm happy with everything I achieved throughout my career, and now I'm looking forward to get one last time back on the field, and then to what's going to come afterwards. But this also made me right now in this situation, gave me more motivation. First of all, to work hard to get back on the field once again, and then to be really close to the team as well, because I will have a position afterwards which is really close to the team, to speak to the players, to, like you said, to help them in the small details that you see with a lot of experience, as a player with a lot of experience. And we have two really young and talented players on my position right now. That's one point where I try to give them some advice when I see some little things in practice or in the games, and when we watch the video afterwards. But also to be close to the coaching staff.
Yeah, I wanted to because I read something on the Rhein-Neckar Löwen media or social media accounts that you would be taking a position as a, let's say, sports director or executive in the sports area. I want to congratulate you for that, because I think you deserve it. And I think that you are a prepared person, because I know you have some other businesses outside. You started these businesses by yourself during your career. And I want to congratulate you, because one of the things I felt when I retired, I missed the most, is to be with the team and to have this feeling that you belong to something, to a group, you know. And I really think that this would help a lot to you to be close to them, because this is something you really miss. So yeah, that's not a question actually, but I just wanted to say congratulations for your new position in the future.
Yes, thank you very much. I think sometimes it's those things like you just mentioned throughout your career. You don't think about that too much, but when you don't have it anymore, you realize that you miss it a lot.
That's exactly it.
You were talking about a process of that idea coming closer to you over the last 2 or 3 years. When did you actually realize, all right, this will be my last season? How long did you know it?
I think that, as I said, the process went on for several months, and then, of course, I had the diagnosis of my knee this summer, and then I think I knew that this will be my last year.
Yeah, and I mean, this season will forever go down into the books where the GOAT is retiring. Oh, and Nikola Karabatic retires as well. How's your relationship to Nikola Karabatic, actually?
Of course, we have a good relationship. We played together in Paris. Our sons were born, I think, within a transition of 4 weeks when he got Alec, and then my son Matti was born. So we also had this connection at that time in Paris, where we made a lot outside of the handball field with our kids, with our wives, and it's a pretty good year to stop playing then.
Aren't you feeling ashamed that you're taking away the spotlight from him?
I think I think you guys already talked to him about it, and you talked about him as a player, as a person as well, and about his influence throughout the last over 20 years to the game. And I can just go into the same direction. If you have a player like him who won so many trophies, who had the biggest influence on both sides of the field, then I think we're speaking about the greatest player of our time.
I just want to say, hey, Uwe, and thank you for joining us. And also want to kick it off by saying that it's about also for the spectators to enjoy that whenever big players are quitting out. So I, of course, wish you a quick recovery and hope to see you on the field, because I personally think that you are one of the greatest been on your position. We also, just before you went on, I don't know if you heard it, but we spoke about a goal you also scored against Víctor against Barcelona, where you had your arm up here. And actually in the lower leagues in Denmark, we call it a Gensheimer whenever they try to do something like that, because I think it's a pretty spectacular goal and hard to. But how do you come up with the idea of, having something to train? I guess you stand in the wing and you ask the goalies to be there, and you practice from the wing, and also, be brave enough to actually put it into a game and a Final Four event, because it takes a lot of character also to do a shot you've been practicing on a lot, I guess.
Yeah, first of all, when I was younger, I always wanted to be creative. I always wanted to do things that nobody else can. It was a motivation for me to do something outstanding. And as you said, of course, it's not the first time that I tried it at the Final Four weekend. It takes a lot of practice, and also the fact that you mentioned that I was early in my career, when I was really young, when I was joining the first teams, I had the experience also to play with Andrei Lavrov in the goal, which is a goalkeeping legend, and he was also nice enough to talk to me about my shots, and I was asking him how the goalkeepers see my position, how they see my arm movement, what do they expect when I make the movement in this direction. And then of course first of all I tried to do the spin shot from up here with my body, then I was thinking about what the goalkeeper's gonna think when I made that shot several times, when I repeated it, and how the movement of the goalkeeper will be, because they're looking for that shot and then they go down with their arms in that direction. And of course I tried it several times without anyone else, just on my own, then in practice, and then in the games.
Martin, we should record ourselves trying to do this shot. I have to say I tried it. I tried it only once, and the result was so disrespectful, to the actual shot of Uwe, that I didn't try it.
But never give up.
Not even in the training. No, but I was about to say that you as a young player, your mind was asking your body to do some things that anyone else could do. But you were lucky enough that your body was joining your mind, because if I would be thinking the same way as you were thinking, my body wouldn't be joining. I wasn't, because we were talking before you came in into this interview. I'm really amazed how you never had a shoulder injury. Have you ever had a shoulder injury?
No.
That's for me amazing. Respect for that, because your wrist capacity is amazing, but a lot of shots that you're doing, that they are coming from the shoulder and the elbow, and for me,
exactly, it's shoulder, elbow, and wrist.
Yeah. Did you make any trainings with weights or with elastics or something like that to be prepared to have your shoulder and your elbow ready for that?
I think, Victor, I started with those shots when I was, I don't know, 13, 14, 15 years old. I didn't know anything about shoulder problems, and although later it was never a problem for me. I think it was just the movement in my earlier days when I was younger, and then I adapted the way my shooting was. So also earlier throughout my career, of course, you train the shots every day, and you do those shots. And I was lucky enough to never have problems with anything on my arm or my hand or my elbow. And no, it was just a practice, and then later, of course, you do the weightlifting and you start being more professional also in the weight room, and you try to work on your jumping capacities, which mine were never like yours, by the way. And if you don't have those jumping capabilities, you have to find other ways to score.
So many flowers in between the two of you. It's almost romantic. It shouldn't be me who's having the campfire behind me.
The shot you were talking about, it was one of the first I tried. It was also against Victor in a game in Spain with the national team, which was one of my first games with the national team, and I missed that shot. But later on, when Spain was in attack, Victor came to me. A great shot, by the way. What a shame that it went.
Yeah. Yeah, because you have
Even when you
to.
missed.
Yeah, but you have to react like that because it's something I never seen before. The first time he did it, and then he did it in the final four, and then he did it also in Mannheim in these quarterfinals. Yeah, it was very nice for us because we ended up going through. But I think it was one of the best quarterfinals, two games that has ever been in the competition, because we lost in Mannheim by 7, and the best of the game was the result because we could have lost by 11. We were actually
I think
going down
we were in
11.
the lead with 10 at the halftime.
Yeah, I think it was 11 or something like that during second half. And he did that shot as well, and it was amazing. It's amazing to see that shot.
Yeah, in some games everything seems to work. But yeah, let's talk a little bit about yourself and your career, because that shoulder that we were talking about, because it stayed injury free, it led you to the person that you are, to the player that you are today. And Stefan Kretschmer, he once recently said in an interview that you did find the sweet spot to retire, because once that you would just come down to scoring 1 or 2 goals per game without penalties, then you would get criticized for it just because you set the standard so high. How does that make you feel? And is he right?
He's right, because me myself as well, I feel that it's the right moment. Otherwise, I wouldn't do it. And it's also because of the things I said earlier, that the last 2 years, because of my injuries, I wasn't able to train the way I wanted to be on the level I wanted to, because of that, because I couldn't train regularly with the team. I had a period of time last season where I was training the last practice before the game, and then I played, and then I was sitting out for 2 or 3 days, and then the same again. And it's not the way how I see and how I want to be with the team. And through that, because of that, I couldn't be on that level where I see myself as well. And then it came to the injury this season. I'm happy that I could win the German Cup last season, because this was something that was missing throughout my career, with a history of 10 Final Four participations where we didn't win. Where I didn't win the cup, and last season as an underdog we managed to make it, which was a great feeling. So I also see that it's the right timing to step down.
I would like to go back in time a little bit because you've been 2 times in Rhein-Neckar Löwen. This first part of your story with Rhein-Neckar Löwen, where you have been in the Final Four. I'm not sure if it was 3 times or 2 times, but you arrived probably as an underdog, but everything can happen in Cologne in the Final Four. But I would like to ask you, what made you decide to make this change to Paris? It was the willing that you had to win the Champions League, because you thought it wouldn't be possible with Rhein-Neckar Löwen at that time?
Also, it was several things. First of all, I'm born in Mannheim, born and raised in Mannheim. I've played here throughout all of my life, and which is a privilege to play at home in your home city on the highest level you can get. You have to see the history about the club. It was 2 clubs in the second league who came together and went up to the first league. Of course, also with the background of the SAP arena, with the financial possibilities there are here, with a lot of VIP areas with the business seats and the arena with a capacity like this, which which is pulling a lot of sponsors to the club, and then we managed to be very fast a really good team in Europe. Then you had a big influence with Jesper Nielsen, who came as an investor to the club in, I think it was 2008. And he had the goal to build the best team in Europe here in Mannheim. And at that time, of course, I had other offers to change the club, but I always had the feeling that it weighs, a title with Rhein-Neckar Löwen weighs more for me than a title with any other club. And then we, as you said, we played the Final Four as well in 2011. So we were one of the best clubs in Europe, and I never saw the need to change the club, because, as I said, it meant the world to me to win the German championship with up here with Rhein-Neckar Löwen and not with any other club. So, but also I felt that I wanted to see something else then in 2016, and the whole package with Paris at the club, with the team we had, and as you said, the big dream to win the Champions League was the reason why I joined PSG.
It's a shared dream, I would say, because Paris and PSG as a club, they are still dreaming about that Champions League title.
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
But also for me as a person, it was important to see something else, to be a foreigner for the first time, to know how the players feel. A lot of my former teammates, I know now how they felt when they came to another club, about the environment. And for me, it was also a personal thing to see how I can play in another environment than here in Mannheim, then in the environment where I know everything, where I grew up, and then to be in another country, to speak another language, to be in a different club than Rhein-Neckar Löwen, and to have such a big influence also in a club like PSG at that time. And I'm proud that about the years that I spent there, about the way I played there, about the way also I got another international recognition for that, I think.
Yeah, most definitely. But still staying with that Champions League dream, because you guys actually came super close. It was 2017 when you guys played the final, but only lost it by 1 goal. Maybe you can tell us a little bit about it, especially from that perspective that you guys have been in the final together. How important is that Champions League title for Paris as a city as well? Because in football, it never worked out either.
Yeah, of course, it's a big goal. I mean, it's clear to everyone that this team in 2016 was built to win the Champions League. And we were, as you said, we were really close, but everyone who already played in Cologne, and Victor can tell you about it, anything can happen, and you have 2 games where you have to be on your highest level, where you have to hope that everyone is healthy at one weekend in your team, that you don't have too many injured players, and then that you have at that weekend of the year the spirit, the motivation, and there's so many things that have to go, that have to come together. And as you see, sometimes the big teams and the favorites, they struggle because the other team, and we had the same situation in Cologne in the German Cup last season, because we were playing freely. We had no pressure from any point of view. We lost the last 5 games in Bundesliga. We didn't win in that month before. And then we came to Cologne. We didn't have anything to lose, and we went out and played our best game.
Yeah.
I also think that it went into extra time. Actually, pretty nice Final Four event with the German Cup and winning it with Rhein-Neckar. So, Uwe, you said also that you had offers and the possibility to go to. And whenever you say that the dream was to win the Champions League, I also have one other club in mind that Victor has a close relationship to. Was it ever the possibility to maybe join Barcelona, and also the dream to win the Champions League, also to be live in a different country, different cultural language barrier, because that's probably a question that people also have. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, there were several offers, but they didn't pan up.
Yeah, okay. Victor is expensive. Victor is expensive guy. So yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. Of course, Barcelona was also a topic. But I have to be. I will be honest with you. I at that time, I didn't had the same motivation to play in Barcelona, because earlier I was looking forward to go there because the Spanish league was better, and then afterward I saw that the Spanish league was going down a little bit, and of course Barcelona is a city who doesn't want to live there. I mean, it's wonderful, it's sunny, and it's amazing.
Victor just told us about it. It's 17 degrees right now.
Yeah. But then the whole package in Paris was better for me, and I don't regret anything, although it would have been an honor to play for such a great club as Barcelona is.
I could have pictured Uwe to be a one club man like I was, but he had several offers, and I'm sure he had many. Why I never had any offers from any other clubs? Never.
Talking about quality, man.
Not a single one. Yeah.
Yes, but it's true. Like Victor is saying, if you are like a player like he was, or also like me, then some other clubs can't imagine that you would change the club.
Yeah, they were respecting your legacy. That's what I can imagine as well. But anyways,
thank you for putting that way, Bengt. I appreciate that.
Talking about other clubs and other possibilities in your career, was another Bundesliga club ever an option for you? So were you like, if that offer comes, I might think about it?
And they were on the table, and there were talks, but I don't want to go too further or too deeper in it. But as you can imagine, there were also some offers from top clubs in Germany. Yeah.
So not an option for you to betray your Rhein-Neckar Löwen.
As I described it earlier, for me it was also a good solution. Maybe I could have won more trophies with other clubs, and I was also in talks with Noka earlier to be a player from him. So I think that's enough said. But at that, always when I made my decision, it was clear for me that I made the right decision, and I'm not sure if I would have been the same player or the same personality if I would have changed the club earlier.
And you can be super proud of what you became and what you achieved, not only on club level, but on national team level as well. It's been 2 years now that you retired. Looking forward to less than in a month, actually. How much does it burn beneath your fingers to pick up the ball for Germany once again at a home Euro?
Right now, not at all, because I don't think that I would be a big improvement for the team with my knee. Yeah. but I can tell that it's a dream to play such a tournament in your home country. I experienced it 2019, and it was amazing to go into an arena with 15,000, 20,000 spectators in black, red, and gold, and to have that support of your home crowd is something unique and something I will never forget in my whole life. And you guys know that the German fans and that the atmosphere in the arena, we have great arenas, that the atmosphere in those arenas is really something special, and that the players who are going to play the European Championship can really look forward to that experience. And we have the opening game in Düsseldorf in front of 50,000, which I'm not sure if the pressure from the stands will be as close as it is in an arena like in Cologne or in Berlin, because I actually played a game. I'm the record holder still. With Rhein-Neckar Löwen, because we played in Frankfurt in front of 42,000. It was, I think, at the game against Hamburg. I don't know when it was, 2008, 2009. And it was a great experience, but the pressure from the spectators didn't came as in arena. But I think the spectators will be closer to the field in Düsseldorf. I will be there, and we will see.
I'm curious to see how the organization is going to set up all the plays, because I also played in Denmark against AG Copenhagen in a football stadium. I think it was around 30,000, something like that.
Yeah.
It was cold as shit, and
And even AG, they played in the jerseys without the sleeves.
Yeah.
Exactly.
But as you said, the atmosphere was not the same. It was not the same. But I'm really curious to see how the organization will set it up, because I'm sure, I know Germans are the best in handball, and I'm sure they will do a great job.
When we played in Hamburg, it was in Frankfurt. It was the roof was closed, of course, which will be the same in Düsseldorf. I hope it's not going to be too cold. We also had to say it was the same in Sweden, right? In the last tournaments, where they picked the football stadium for the final weekend, and I can't remember that it was too cold there.
I think it was 2012, 2013, around that. But yeah, it was cold. In Denmark, it's only cold.
I mean, that man is used to 17 degrees mid of December. What do you expect? It would be too cold for him if it was 8 degrees outside. In Germany, we call that Schönwetter-Handballer, nice weather handballer.
Oder Warmduscher.
Yeah, probably something in that direction. Yeah, great. But yeah, you were talking about the fans and about the atmosphere, and that you experienced it already. When we talked with Anja Althaus about the Euros, the upcoming Euros, we were giving some predictions as well. And since next year will be a very, very special year for Germany, it's not just the handball Euros, but the football Euros as well in the country. I'm expecting a huge wave of euphoria. What do you think? How far can that German team go with those fans and that support in their backpack?
Me too, but it depends also the way they are playing and the success of the team, of course. The fans will be excited. The players gonna give everything they have if they see that the players are going into it with full motivation, which they will do. Then they can, of course, bring the people on the stands behind them, and then they push them forward, which makes a difference. I don't see our team as one of the favorites right now, to be honest. We still have a young squad. We have really, really talented players, where I see a bright future, maybe more for the World Cup in 2027. And this tournament will be a really important step on the way for the team. We have a good team, but on the main positions, on the key positions, players like Juri Knorr or Julian Köster, they're still in the beginning of their 20s, but they have a big role in their Bundesliga clubs, and they have the talent, and it will be critical how they behave in critical situations. We also had at last World Cup, we had problems when the middle defense players Gola and Köster needed a break. So then you could see that the fast break game wasn't on the same level like with those guys. But now we brought in we have Sebastian Heimann, who came back from an injury, who can also defend in the middle. We could see that Yannick Kohlbacher played a huge role in our cup win, also defending in the middle. And I think Alfred has more possibilities now for that as he had last year. And then it's really important to have a good start in the tournament for those players and to keep the push at the beginning. And so it's a critical game against Switzerland, the first one in Düsseldorf.
But now that we have you here, I really need to bring that topic out again. It's something we have been discussing with Anja Althaus, being German as well. I think that, honestly, Alfred, he could have had better results with the German national team if all the healthy players would be willing to go to the national team when the tournaments are coming. It's something that always amazed me, and I know Bundesliga is so tough physically, but how many German players are saying actually no to the national team during winter? And
I think
I really think that there is other nationalities playing in Germany. There is a lot of Scandinavian players playing in Germany, and 90% of the players that are called for the national teams, they go to play to the national team. But it's something it's not happening with German players. So can you explain me a little bit?
Yes, I think sometimes we make this topic a little bit bigger than it is actually, because if you look at the team right now, if you see, I decided to stop because my body felt that way, that I couldn't play a tournament like this on the highest level every second day, on this high level with the needed power to go into the games, and you won't be able to help the team then if you feel that your body isn't prepared for that. Maybe this is something you can discuss, why you feel like this, and is it because of the Bundesliga? Is it because of the games you are playing throughout the season? Then you have Hendrik Pekela who wanted a break from the national team, also because of his body, because of his operation on the Achilles tendon, and I talked to him, and he isn't able to play every second day in that role that he had. To have a big influence on his position in the center defense as a pivot. Vincek said he doesn't want to play anymore in the national team because he stopped his national team career. And so you have Fabi Wiede, who is injured from Berlin, who is coming back. We have some injury problems as well with Paul Bruck.
You have said the three names I was thinking about: Vincek, Pekela, and Wiede. Especially those three names. But then when I see, for example, O'Sullivan playing with Norway, and his role in Magdeburg, he's always there, and I don't know. I see, I don't know, especially Scandinavian players, and I understand what you say, because I know that when your body is not healthy enough, it's even worse for you, because you are in the playing court and you cannot perform the way you want, and then your mind is starting to doubt on yourself, and this can be a big thing that it's getting bigger and bigger, and it's better sometimes to say no. But yeah, it's always been a topic that it surprised me, because other nationalities playing in Bundesliga teams, they go to the national team. But in Germany, it's always a lot of big names that are saying, no, maybe I want to have a break for 1 year, 2 years, but then they are going back, because Pekeler, he said earlier that he wanted a break, then he was back in the national team, then he wants a break again. So it's something that for me it's curious.
The example, Hendrik Pekeler, he wanted to be back now, but he's not ready for that.
Yeah.
Okay. It makes me think about a little bit a campaign earlier about don't play the players. I don't know if that's a topic for it now. Uwe, you probably remember the one yourself also. And also having injuries in your mind yourself and a lot of games coming up. Maybe changing the subject a little bit, Victor, but you spoke about Germany also. And if I remember correctly, also the youth team, Youth 21, won the World Championship against Hungary in the final. So that's exciting for the future as well. But if you don't see Germany as one of the favorites on home field, who do you see as favorites for the European Championship?
Oh, of course, I have to mention Denmark and France. If you look at the last tournaments, Sweden as well, and Spain is also playing a big role in those tournaments. Also, always with the mentality they have to go into those tournaments, and I see ourselves behind that, and maybe we can surprise.
Just to me, because I like the level of the European Championship, because there are so many teams. You know, you also have Norway and earlier on Portugal, also Slovenia, and that I like the level. And also, how can you say the games are really close compared to maybe the World Championships at some points, where you see the goals difference being a little bit higher. So especially the European Championships are really close. So of course I look up to it as well. But it's always interesting to hear the thoughts about a player yourself also. But I also think that the home field and the home crowd will have an impact, and especially how will Germany do and deal with the probably, I don't know if it's a pressure, maybe that more pressure from the audience, and they expect them to actually do great, because they had a couple of years with probably not the results that they expected or used to, and now playing in Germany a championship, that's also a little bit of a pressure maybe.
Yeah, maybe it can go in two directions, which we saw also in earlier tournaments. That sometimes the pressure can be too big for the home team, and but right now I see our team in a position where we are not seen as a favorite for the tournament, but with outsider chances, and as you said, with a home crowd advantage, and with a push from the spectators that can lead us also to the semifinals.
But I mean, luckily, no German national team has ever disappointed in a big tournament in the last couple of years. But yeah, anyways, I am quoting one of the best left wings of all time right now. Germany is standing ahead of a golden decade. Are you still sticking to your quote, to your prediction?
Yes, I see a bright future in our team.
And it might be kickstarted in this tournament. So just as a surprise.
I really hope so, that it's going to be kickstarted right now. But I see ourselves better in 2 or 3 years.
Yeah, that is totally fair. But then talking about the level of Germany, even internationally, you would probably agree that the Bundesliga is the strongest handball league in the world. It says it very proudly in their statement as well, die stärkste Liga der Welt. But still, the national team can't really keep up to that level. Why is that? Why is that discrepancy between the club level and the national team level in Germany?
Look at the top clubs in the German Bundesliga. If you look at the top clubs in the German Bundesliga, where do the key players come from? Are there German players? in the key positions. And the problem for also the generation, like the junior generation, which are really successful, which are world champions. Of course, I see that they have a role in the Bundesliga clubs. But earlier on, when I was playing in the junior national team, we were European champions, we were vice world champions. But from our squad, I think we had 3 players who had a big role in a Bundesliga club then. And the gap between the junior level and the top clubs in the Bundesliga is really high. So in other countries, the most talented players from the junior national team, everyone finds a role in the first league club, I think.
Yep.
And so they have a better how do you say it? A better start in professional handball, in men's handball, after their junior careers, where they can develop better in this field in the highest league in their countries as they can in Germany.
That's totally fair. And I mean, Germany is current Champions League winner. Magdeburg won it last year. And when we think it a little further and let's just fool around a little bit, Champions League final between Kiel and Paris Saint-Germain. Who would you be rooting for?
That's an unfair question.
It is.
And it came from the German guy, yeah? Not from the Spanish or the Danish guy. But
I would root
Bengt,
for...
you would have to answer as well.
I know my answer.
Okay.
I know that
you
Paris
also don't play a role in Paris Saint-Germain, Bengt, from what I know. So probably easier for you to answer the question.
I wanted to win with Paris, so now it doesn't matter anymore.
Oh, actually?
It is the most democratic answer.
Yeah, well, that is fair. That is fair. But yeah, now you are back at your hometown club. And I actually rewatched your first farewell. When they said goodbye to you, and when they said one doesn't leave forever, or in German, niemals geht man so ganz. And I actually was counting the dry ice in the arena, and I didn't count a single one. So there were many tears being spread all over Mannheim. Are you emotionally prepared for a second farewell?
I don't know yet, to be honest. It was already really emotional at the press conference last week to talk about it and to talk about me stopping my career. And I can't imagine right now how it will be in summer. Honestly, first of all, I will give everything to get back on the field and to say goodbye on the field as a player as well. And then I'm thinking about the last game. I already had some questions how people can and when they can get tickets for the last game, and it will be the last Bundesliga game, but we also have to schedule a farewell game for me, which won't be really easy because of the Olympics afterwards and everything going around in summer. But there will also be a farewell game, and I'm looking forward, but it will be really emotional, I guess.
If you could choose a song that will be played once you say farewell to the active pro handball life forever, what would it be?
That's something I have to think about. There's a song from Söhne Mannheims, which is about Mannheim, which is called Meine Stadt, which is a really cool song I like about the city here. And maybe they should play this at my last Bundesliga game.
Talking about the career, and you had also mentioning also with Rhein-Neckar Löwen and the national team, you played a lot of really tight and cool games. Have you ever thought about, and also with a lot of spectators, as you said, against Hamburg, which one is the coolest game you ever played? and you're allowed to say the ones that came out with a great result as well. It can also be in terms of spectators, but it can also just be the result.
Of course, the most emotional was the game where we won the last game in 2016,
Yeah.
because it was my last game back then for Rhein-Neckar Löwen before I moved to Paris, and the game where we won the German championship the first time.
Yeah.
And this was the most emotional, because also a week earlier I had played my last game here in Mannheim at SAP Arena. Then 3 days later my son was born, and again 3 days later I had the game to win the first German championship here with Rhein-Neckar Löwen, and my last game before I moved. So the whole week was really emotional.
Is there
I can
something?
imagine also having I just want to mention a quick comment on Andy Schmidt. I also remember the team you had there. I think it's an unbelievable player and a really underestimated player. So I can understand also the team that you had with Nikolaj Jakobsen as a coach and Mads Mens. There's a lot of great players, and you were also really competitive. Yeah, but yeah, sorry, Bengt.
No, all good. I was just wondering, do you retire as a fulfilled player, or is there something that you really regret not having won?
Yeah, you mentioned it earlier that I never won a title with the German national team. That's something that's really missing. I really wanted to win something with the national team. It didn't happen. At the European Championship 2016, I was injured. The bronze medal was really cool in Rio. It was emotional as well to win something at the Olympics, to come home with a medal, which was a great experience. But of course, a title with the national team is missing. That's something I think it's not the right word to regret, because you could have had an influence on that. It's something that's just missing. You will never forget the time you had with the team, and like Victor earlier said, the things that happen outside of the field and the connections you make throughout a national career from over 15 years, 16 years. These relations will stay forever, and the things you experience outside of a field as a team.
Yeah, I personally would say that there is nothing from your perspective to be complaining about, because you did have an amazing career. You can be super proud of everything that you achieved, how you helped develop the German handball, because German handball will always be connected with the name Uwe Gensheimer, and that is something to be super proud of. But yeah, then you are currently holding a world record with that game, and you will be breaking the next world record of spectators once again in Düsseldorf at the opening ceremony. Will you be attending our show? We will be there as well with our Twitch show. You are happily invited to join us on our couch.
Okay. Write me earlier. Write me then just before. When does it start? I don't know.
So the whole thing starts at around 15 o'clock, because the German match will be around 20ish. I'm not too sure about the time right now. But the France game's prior to that. So we will be live ahead of that French game already. But yeah, then we are more than happy to welcome you back on our show.
Okay, we'll be staying in contact for that.
Yeah, most definitely. Uwe, thank you a lot for your time. Thank you for the talks. It was very interesting and very open. I wish you the best of luck for the rest of the season. May all your dreams and hopes come true for whatever you plan, and that we will see you back on the court very soon.
Thank you very much, guys.
Yeah, just wanted to say,
rehab.
Just wanted to say final words to you, Uwe. We didn't chat that much outside the playing court in our players' career, but I found today a very calm and emotional Uwe. It made me go a little bit back in my career when I had to retire 3 years ago, and you made me to go a little emotional as well, because I could feel a lot of things that are happening now through your mind and through your feelings. And I just wanted to say it. You were a heck of a player. Thanks for all the battles we had in the playing court, and I wish you all the best for the future because I think you deserve it.
Thank you, Victor.
Thank you.
Sweet.
Best of luck.
Then, yeah, best
Almost
of
tears.
luck. Yeah, we need a full SAP arena once again to shout Uwe, Uwe, so that you can gain your breath back. Well, but anyways, I will be cheering Uwe with that as well because you have been a pleasure to watch, and we will enjoy every second that we can see with Uwe Gensheimer on the court throughout the next 5 or 6 months. Quick recovery and best of luck for the rest of the season.
Thank you. It was nice to be with you guys.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ciao.
Another show, another awesome guest, and I was a little bit afraid that the mood might shift a little when Victor, you asked about the 3 players that were retiring. But well, it's obvious that he has a different opinion on that. But I found it super interesting, actually.
It was something I had to ask because
Sure.
who better than him to answer that question, you know? And I honestly got a lot emotional during this interview because I could feel him a lot, and the way he was talking, he was very calm and cool. And I have to say that I enjoyed that interview a lot because the Uwe Gensheimer I knew, it was only the player side, you know?
Yeah.
And he had this winner character that made him the player he is and he was, that sometimes it was not very likable in the playing court, you know, because he was giving 200% everything for his team, you know. And I'm really happy that I had the chance to know him a little bit better outside the playing court because yeah, it was a very, very nice surprise for me.
So you wouldn't become best friends on the playing court, but offside you might?
Yeah, definitely not in the playing court because I think I think he has the same feeling about me because yeah, we were playing for different teams for same goals, so we were defending our
Yeah.
colors, you know. But yeah, maybe why not? I think I would like to have a dinner with him sometime over a bottle of wine and to have more deep talks about handball and life.
I feel like you can invite him in Düsseldorf, so that might be a goal. But yeah, anyways, I personally feel like that's a good trait to have for a pro handball player or for any pro athlete, to be dying for your colors. And the fact that Uwe did is proven by his jersey hanging under the ceiling in Mannheim as well. So really one of the greatest that we have experienced in Germany, and we can be very proud and happy to have him on the show.
I think personally, amazing player was
Yeah.
and still is, and I hope that, as he said, that he can fulfill his wish by ending his career on the court and not outside the court. And it's actually also a compliment to Victor, this one, but it's not that often that you see players staying in one club for a very, very long time. Also, when you play for a big club like Barcelona, and Rhein-Neckar Löwen was also a really big club at some point when he played there, Uwe, and staying there for so long, I have a huge respect for, because as we asked him, he had a lot of offers, and still being able to say no to those offers and stay in Rhein-Neckar and Mannheim because he was from there and the history within. I actually also think that Uwe staying in Rhein-Neckar helped the team, you know, getting great players to Rhein-Neckar because they knew players like him would stay there. And then it was probably easier to say, hey, we have a lot of other great players. But huge respect for the players who stays in the same club for a very, very long time. I think it's a little bit rare. And I think it's not happening that often. Maybe, I don't know, it's a generation thing. But those who does, I like it a lot.
Did
And
you see
also
that?
with Victor, it was the same. Yeah,
Did
but
you
it
see
was
that
the same
little
with Victor.
smile
We
that
don't see
Victor
it
just
that
cracked?
often.
Ben,
Yeah, but we
Ben,
don't see it that often.
you have to cut this last 1.5 minutes and send it to me, you know,
I
I
will.
will look at it every night before I go to sleep.
Yeah, well, maybe for Christmas I'll send you a tablet PC that just has this quote on loop that you just have to plug it in, and then that will play forever. But yeah,
Thank you, Martin. Thank you, Martin, for
Yeah.
the words. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I think it's difficult to see that nowadays because
Mhm.
it's more options now in handball around Europe, especially when Bundesliga and French league are so tough. And I would say also Danish league would be number 3 right now. So there is many more options now than it was before. In the early 2000, late 90s, I would say. So I really appreciate your words. Thank you so much for that.
You're welcome. It's I mean it. I actually think it's really rare. So whoever does that can be a little bit proud of themselves, because, or even though that, for example, with Victor, he played for Barcelona, there were also other huge clubs. And I remember we had a talk also, if you had to play for one other club, it would probably be THW Kiel, because they are also the Zebras. They are also one big club, but staying there, it's a rare thing. And I hope that we will see a lot of players do the same as Victor and Uwe has done as well.
yeah, it's actually funny. The talk that you're talking about was at the EHF Excellence Awards, and the three of us, we didn't even come together as one group there. I was there as well as a host with Martin, but you took my spot, Victor. I don't even know whether you realized that.
No, I
think
didn't
it's
know that.
because Bengt, that you were, I wouldn't say dehydrating a little bit, but you wanted to have a little bit of a break. It was probably not water that you wanted to
Cut it here. Cut it here.
I was dehydrating myself, with all the nerves of being a host of the gala. And it was warm in Austria for that days, maybe the
it was
warmest
very
that
warm.
I've ever been in Austria. So yeah, I understand you, Bengt.
Yeah,
feel
most
you.
definitely. We did take some pictures together, Martin, me, and the boys. And, well, I did have a 2-colored shirt. It didn't used to be.
It was very hot. And when the Spanish guy says it's hot, then the German and Danes have to recognize that.
Yeah, most definitely. Guys, it's hot in Barca as well, in Barcelona as well, even though it's close to Christmas. What are your Christmas plans, boys?
I will be flying to Norway
Nice.
next Tuesday. We always spend the Christmas there in Norway, and this year we are also going to spend the New Year's Eve in Norway. So yeah, I'm flying to the cold and snow and dark.
Dark, especially dark. I think there's light, I don't know, 5 or 6 hours a day or something like that. So it's about to appreciate it.
Yeah, it's
it's not that
around
much.
9 in the morning until 3, 4-ish. Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's tough. That's maybe why you went on a run, just to catch those last sun rays of the year for you. It actually is. It is the last sun rays of the year then.
It is. Well,
Nice.
not in Barcelona because it's sun all year long.
Yeah.
But yes, it is the last sunrises of the year.
Yeah, but yeah, Martin, how about you? Just getting all suited up and slaying it with your boys in your suit and tie?
I'm staying normally Christmas Eve, pretty relaxed and cozy. I'm with one of my older brothers, my parents, and then my dog and my parents' dog. So it's a small group, and to me, Christmas evening is just about relaxing and appreciate the time together. Have something nice to eat, and we go visit the graveyard of my grandmother and granddad. So we have some traditions, and we actually also in my family don't this year we made agreement not to buy presents for each other. We have to buy one present in total, and that's for example, that could go to a concert or going out for a dinner together. So it's pretty relaxed at my house, but I'm looking forward to eating and and the dessert and all the candy stuff. That's the big moment for me.
Sounds
Are you
great.
eating ribbe or pincher?
It's it's we're also eating pig, but not ribbe like they do in Norway. But it's pretty similar.
Cool.
Great. That sounds like super
And what
cozy.
about you, Bengt? What are your Christmas plans?
I don't have too many actually, but I'm just about to go to my hometown, Kiel. Then visit my family. It's my brother's birthday on the 23rd of December, so that's always kind of a joint festivity for us. And then for Christmas itself, visiting my grandma and stuff like that. So yeah, enjoy the time off and calm down a bit, because this is the time for it, especially since we need all our energy for January, because we will have a blast, all the three of us, and I'm very much looking forward to the Euros, that we will be involved in a Twitch show as well, so you guys should go and check it out, twitch.com/the home of handball, to not miss out on any handball action. It will be great, and we haven't talked about it yet, the three of us, but we might start it off with a live podcast on Twitch, so that you can discuss with us about your favorites for the Euros, but that is stuff for future Bengt, for future Martin, and for future Victor, and I would say have a great Christmas time, the three of you guys, the three of us, the two of you guys, and get well and safe into the new year, boys.
Thank you, Bengt. The same to you, and also to all the listeners. Wish you a happy Christmas and and a happy New Year. A Merry Christmas. I was about to say Happy Christmas. That's a bad ending of a podcast show, guys.
Of a good podcast show, though. Of a good podcast show.
Yeah, another good one.
Yeah.
Just for a Finnish note, I can give an idea to some of your family members, Martin. They can give you a present to practice some paddle lessons, because we have to face in the court.
I got him in my backpack. No worries about that, Martin. We're having him.
Okay.
Because everyone has to come up with two ideas, so it's not a bad one, Victor. But I don't know if it's comparable. Yeah, I will have it in mind. Thank you for the advice.
Okay.
Anyways,
It's
that's
free.
it.
It's free.
That's it for the first year of our podcast. This has been We Talk Handball. Thank you for everyone who joined us on our journey. Thanks for all the guests. But the first year doesn't mean that the season has been closing down yet. We will continue at the Euros and with all the action of the Machine Seeker EHF Champions League that is yet to return after the Euros. And we will be looking back at that in a very tense and intense time. We haven't been talking too much about it lately, but just because it's way into the future. I'm looking forward to it. I'm looking forward to the Euros. And with that, let's close down the year, and we will hear each other again next year when it's time to talk handball again. Catch you around.
Ball across to Dylan. He double in flight. Oh, what a start.
Into the net.
He does it again.